Evening, everybody, and welcome to week 5 of the Home Team Friday Countdown. Zane and Betty are standing by, ready to break down 3 of the biggest games on tomorrow night's high school football schedule. Tonight's games we have some heavyweights this evening. We're going to start in the SIAC, where Vincennes Lincoln, the Alices, the darlings of the conference so far this year, they will be at Castle. Another big game in the PAC, it's Heritage Hills at North Posey, and then a battle of heavyweights taking place out in Huntingburg tomorrow night. Gibson Southern and Southridge. That is always a fantastic matchup. All right, let's bring in the crew now. Bailey Smith and the voice of Bosse Field, always on Thursday nights, on loan to us from the Journal Democrat, Zane Kleinfelter. Guys, let's go ahead and jump into it and start in the SIAC. Battle for sole possession of second place. Vincennes Lincoln is at Castle. Bailey, get us started with the Knights.
Well, it is a big conference showdown, and the Knights defense has shown up in the past month. They've only allowed 25 points in the last 3 games total. So if they can continue down that avenue, Castle can fly through this fall and fight for the top of the SIAC. Last week we saw a backslide on offense, only managing 234 yards at Bosse. So with the recent Lincoln success, the Knights not only have to keep up that armor, but they've got to make those scoring opportunities if they want to beat the Alices for the 3rd year in a row.
Bailey, the Alices of Vincennes Lincoln are for real. An impressive victory over Mater Dei in week 3, followed by a dominant performance on the road last week against Central. But now comes the Alices' biggest road test to this point of the season with a trip to Paradise. Luckily for Vincennes, the offense has been just as productive on the road as it is at home at Inman Field. Watch for quarterback Xander Hunt to be a factor again this week after the dual threat athlete ran for 2 touchdowns and passed for 2 more, Randall, in that victory over the Bears.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, Vincennes Lincoln already have a victory over Mater Dei this year, just barely lost to Rights. So this should be a fantastic, right? In the pocket, a huge one right here, a very interesting game. Heritage Hills in that ground attack. They will be traveling to Poseyville to take on North Posey. Both of these teams are 3-1. This could be just an old-fashioned slugfest. Zane, you get us started off with the Vikings.
Randall, if you remember, North Posey put a scare in Heritage Hills the last couple of seasons, including a dramatic 1-point overtime loss to the Patriots in 2020. The Vikings defense now has playmakers to complement an offense that has been impressive in 3 out of 4 games. Last week, North Posey was down by a touchdown early before the Vikings rolled with 35 unanswered points behind the arm and legs of Liam Stone, who finished with 3 total touchdowns and 273 yards of total offense.
Well, the Patriots are 3-1, but could have been undefeated if it weren't for a late game-winning touchdown by Boonville 2 weeks ago. But then they got back to the jungle and rolled over South Spencer last Friday, running for nearly 400 yards. Keep an eye on the Staples twins, seeming to always be in the action this year. If they can continue to work their magic, this can be a repeat of last fall's victory over North Posey.
Yeah, and that Heritage Hills defense has been absolutely fantastic this season so far, guys. And I think this very well could come down to how well that defense is able to slow down Liam Stone. He's had a fantastic season for the Vikings so far this year. All right, our final game of the night, it is defense versus offense in the pocket, and a pair of undefeated teams meeting in Huntingburg. 4-0 Gibson Southern, the defending 3A champs, visiting Southridge. Bailey, you have the Raiders. My, oh my, how that defense has been incredible this season.
Points forced, 157. Points allowed, 7. And that was only a 4th-quarter touchdown to Washington in their season opener. 3 shutouts in a row. Now, at the beginning of the season, their coach said that this team has a lot of potential, and that has shown to be true. I'd say keep an eye on Yamil Arroyo, who had a combined 142 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. But that defense, it's going to be fun to watch. Looking for revenge against the Titans, who racked up 63 points on the Raiders last fall.
Bailey, Brady Allen graduated, but that doesn't mean the winning has to stop in Fort Branch. The Titans are an impressive 4-0. When you consider the schedule Gibson Southern put together to prepare this team for the postseason, this might be one of the most opportunistic defenses I've ever seen at the high school level, and the offense picked up right where it left off last season in Indy. Tanner Boyd hasn't thrown an interception since week 1, and the talented receivers the Titans have means they loaded, but not rebuilt, Randall.
Yeah, Nick Hart is, he's got his mojo working up there in Fort Branch. All right, the game of the week this week, we just talked about it. It's in Poseyville. Heritage Hills and North Posey should be a fantastic one. Coverage begins tomorrow night at 7, streaming only on TriStateHomepage.com. Guys, as always, thanks much. Great job. And we will see you guys on the sidelines tomorrow night.